Project Starfire. And it's your boy Icon with a DC TV review. And I did not know that the next episode is the last episode of Titans. I thought at the very least we were going to get 13 episodes, but apparently they've tapped out at 12. I am not happy about this. I am extremely angry about this. There is no reason why Titans should be ending. The show needs to continue. And I'm very upset and sad to see it go, especially because it's getting so good. Like I said, it's your boy Icon with another DC TV review, the second to last review for you for these Titans. Let's get into this one as my heart breaks towards the finale. So the episode starts with Dick and Corey. Corey's still having these dreams about her killing, like destroying the world and like blowing up Sebastian and everything. She goes outside, she's talking to Dick, and then the two of them kind of have like a, little touchy moment, because there's the whole unspoken thing with them having the child. And then Dick goes back down into Star Labs because he don't want to have that conversation. And then he tells Tim, he said that he needs him to go to Gotham to speak to an informant. And then he gives him the classic Robin suitcase. Every Robin has the case, that has the computer and the costume and everything in it. He gives Tim the case. Tim looks at the case, and then when he opens it, he sees the Robin suit. And then he was speechless. He was completely speechless. He goes down to Gotham to go meet this informant. He gets jumped in the he didn't get jumped. He ran up on some criminals in the alley, and for some reason, instead of him telling the criminals that Nightwing sent him, he said that Dick Grayson sent him. And I was like, well, that's weird. And then even the criminals, they were like, oh, Flying Grayson, he sent you. And I'm like, how do the criminals know like who Dick Grayson is? So Tim's fighting the criminals in the alley in the Robin costume, which does look dope on him. And then while he's fighting the criminals, the Red Hood shows up. Good old Red Hood showed up, Jason Todd, and then he shows up. He brings him into the fold. He has his hideout now. We find out that Jason Todd, he secretly works for Barbara Gordon at the GCPD, I guess as a bounty hunter, vigilante type, where he rounds up criminals for them, and then, he gives them to the GCPD, and then Barbara pays him, like a specific fee based on that finder's thing. Where's Batman? Like, what's going on with Batman? Why is Bruce okay with this? Why is he not a part of this? And I guess maybe because since Bruce is doing Justice League business, the Red Hood is the one cleaning up the streets under the supervision of Barbara Gordon. Jason makes fun of him, obviously, for being a Robin, and then he was making fun of him because he had the bow staff, and he was like, do you even know how to use that? And then that's when he's like, well, let's go a few rounds, and then Jason knocked it out of his hand right out the gate. And this started a very cool fighting montage, like a training montage from Robin to Robin, because in season 1 of Titans, when Dick, decided that he didn't want to be Robin anymore, we had the episode where he bumped into Jason Todd for the first time, and then they had like the two Robins went on a mission together. Here, it's kind of like the same thing, like the passing of the torch from one Robin to the next, where Jason Todd is actually training Tim Drake now on how to become a Robin. Tim Drake in return helped him with some of, his detective work as far as like finding certain criminals, and then he helped him track down the Shimmer Gang, which was supposed to be doing some nefarious things in Gotham. So in order for Tim to get the actual training that he deserves, Jason Todd actually allowed the Shimmer Gang to find his location. So the Shimmer Gang shows up. Now Tim, he didn't had a whole like day or two of training with Jason Todd. So now when Tim goes downstairs, he sees like the Shimmer Gang jumps him. He ends up fighting the Shimmer Gang in his Robin costume, and then he defeats them. It took him a while, but, he defeated them. And then the Red Hood came out of nowhere, and he was like, good job, like young Robin. And then Tim was just like, oh, you were standing there the whole time, and you didn't help me? Because he was just like, hey, you're supposed to learn by doing, not by being coddled. And he was like, you did a good job. After that, they basically, like, Tim never, and the funny thing is, like, as smart as Tim is from a detective standpoint, he never figured out the fact that the informant thing was bullshit. So he just assumed that he couldn't find the guy, and then he was just like, okay, I gotta go back and meet up with the Titans. So then Jason gives him, like, the Robin motorcycle, and then, gives him some encouraging words, two of them shake hands, and then Tim drives off. And then Jason gets on the phone, and he speaks to Dick, and he's just like, hey, he just left. Dick was just like, how did he do? And he was like, oh, he'll be good, like, the training went well, and I think he'll be a better Robin than I am. Good old Dick Grayson training these Robins one day at a time. So that was nice. So now Tim's on his way back to Star Labs, and we don't see him again for the rest of the episode, nor do we see the Red Hood, but it was a good cameo for Red Hood. Meanwhile, Superboy, he's basically like going back and forth with Mercy Graves because they're still trying to figure out how to take down Connor. And then he cuts off ties with Mercy, and then he ends up talking to Sebastian himself. He ends up bringing in the bald guy who was like his mother's right hand, and then he brought that guy in and tortured him so he can tell Sebastian that his mother is basically useless and she's going to betray you, and Trigon is going to betray you, and everybody's going to betray you. Connor had said that this guy has some magic blood in his system, and that if Sebastian drunk his blood, then he would gain more power. So Sebastian drinks his blood. That was gross. And then he actually ended up like, getting more power. But then Superboy had noticed the guy was getting a little too powerful, and then now he's trying to figure out he needs to come up with a way to stop him. There was only one thing left for him to do, which is basically go crawling back to the Titans. Starfire gets a tip from one of the Star Labs employees that they found Mercy Graves. Fine ass Mercy Graves. So she goes down to speak to the Black Mercy, and when she speaks to the Black Mercy, the two of them are having a conversation, and then that's when the Titans show up because Dick had tailed her. Dick, Raven, and Beast Boy, like they went down, they tailed her, and they were just like, why are you doing this by yourself? And then she was just like, because I have to, like it's my responsibility to kill Sebastian. And he was like, no, we do this as a team. So they interrogate Mercy Graves, and Mercy basically tells them that Lex Luthor knew that Starfire had the power to destroy Sebastian Blood. He came up with a device that when you power this device by blue Starfire power, and you put it into the device basically works as a bomb, and the device can be used to destroy Sebastian Blood once and for all. He just needed Corey to power it up. They also found out that he was trying to replicate Corey's powers for that purpose as well, and then they found out where the device was. They go get the device. They ended up sparing Mercy's life. They just like, we'll just keep her around as an informant or whatever. And then the Titans go down and try to find this device so they can take down Sebastian. When they find the device, they're met by Connor because Connor also had the same information that they did. Connor did the apology tour saying that he just tried to prove himself, and then Dick forgave him, and then the rest of the team forgave him. And then they do the whole thing where Corey and Superboy now, they're both because they're the only two that could really do it. Superboy was holding on to the orb spear thing, and then Starfire was holding on to it to power it up. She was supposed to power it up with enough energy to where when they throw it at Sebastian, it'll be able to destroy him. But when Corey was infusing her power into it, it was like draining her, and it was causing like a really bad toll on it. It was taking a toll on her body. And then when it got up to 98%, Dick felt like it was taking too much of a toll on her, and then he told him to pull the plug, but they didn't power it up enough. They got it to 98%, but it wasn't like fully powered. But then he was just like, this will have to do because we don't want to hurt Corey. So then, Beast Boy, he took the orb, and he was just like, I won't let you guys down. I'll do what I have to do. He goes down to meet up with Sebastian. Sebastian and Superboy go back down to the cavern. They see his mama because his mama had rolled up on him earlier in the episode, and she was just like, I'm not dead, boy. And then she was like, meet me in the caverns and blow the horn to bring your father back. So now the two of them, they go back to the cavern, and then when they see him, he's just like, oh, what is this Titan doing here? And then she was just like, oh, he's betraying you, son. And then he was just like, no, mother, you're betraying me because you're trying to take my power. And he was like, I won't let anybody take my power again. And then he kills his mom for the second time. And then Mother Mayhem now is officially dead because after he stabbed her this time, he absorbed her power into himself. So now Brother Blood has sucked up her blood power. So now he's like super powerful. And then that's when Superboy took the orb, threw the orb at him, and then the whole thing exploded, and it was supposed to kill him. He thought it killed him, but then Beast Boy had said because it wasn't powered up enough, it couldn't deal the final death blow, and Sebastian was able to overcome it. So now when Sebastian hit the floor, he was wearing a t-shirt and jeans. When he woke up, he had on the full-fledged Brother Blood outfit, and I'm like, when did he put that on? And then he knocked out Connor. And I'm like, I don't know if Connor is just unconscious or dead because he knocked him out to the point where Connor was bleeding, but then his eyes were open while he was on the floor. And I'm like, is he dead? And that's going to be a little crazy if that whole thing is true. But then, after that, like he knocked Connor out. And then now Brother Blood, he's just like, ew, I have the power now to control the planet. And I will take my vengeance in blood. And then the Titans were just like, shit, like, what are we going to do now? And then Starfire was like, the only thing we can do, she said, I'm going to have to end this my way, which is basically her sacrificing herself to stop Sebastian Blood. So she goes down into the cavern to stop him. Dick, Gar, and Rachel are just like, fuck it, they go with her. The Titans go down into the cavern as well. They close the door. That's how the episode ended, and thank you for tuning in. So now the four of them are down in the caverns. Tim is on his way to the caverns. Superboy's in the caverns, either dead or unconscious. Mercy Graves is hiding somewhere, and Brother Blood now has all the power. I'm still waiting on the Superman cameo that might show up in the series finale, and I can't believe it's the series finale. Like, I'm not okay with that. But yeah, we don't have a choice. We got to accept it, and we got to roll on to the last one. So it'll be very emotional, especially for me, because Nightwing is my favorite superhero character, point blank, period. So to see a live action Nightwing-led TV series come to an end will be very heart crushing, but I will get through it. So check out my, season finale review when it pops up. Check out my Superman and Lois review, because they're crushing it right now. Like, their last episode was a really damn good one, and we only got about 3 more episodes to go till The Flash as we roll on to continue with whatever shows we got left in the DC universe. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already, hit the notification bell so you get notified when my other videos pop up, and we'll keep rolling on, and I'll see you guys for the season finale of Titans. So until next time, guys, take care. Let me know what you thought about this particular episode. Until next episode, for the finale, we're out this